In order for the committee of the whole, Tuesday, July 16, 2013. Village clerk, please call the roll.
Burgess. Here. Gordon.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Dawson.
Here.
Washington. Here. Williams. Here.
I'd like to make a motion that we nominate trustee Rosie Williams as mayor pro tem.
Second.
Can't hear you.
Okay. I'll withdraw the motion. Okay, I just want to.
Then we can go on to item number 2, green technology. Mr. Mohammed?
I think I know how to turn it on by now. He's been here. Just press the button.
Can I ask two of my colleagues?
Sure. If you need to grab another chair, feel free. There's. Just make sure you press the button.
Right on top.
Right. I thought you'd been here. I thought you would figure this first. Nice first.
Why, thank you. Thank you. Don't get used to it.
Good afternoon, good evening to the Sauk Village trustees, Mayor of the community. And good evening to all in the audience, the citizens of Sauk Village. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your meeting once again. I am happy, delighted, and overjoyed that I am allowed to present American Green Technology magnetic induction lighting once again. We have been working diligently, tirelessly, and toiling hard in trying to earn the business for the last about 14, 15, 16 months. And I guess we're coming to that conclusion. And I'm happy to report that we had a conversation with Kevin, your public works director, and he is thrilled with our lights and has given a thumbs up to going with our lights. So I just want to go over some things that we have given to you, but just to clarify some things, if there's any questions, I'll pass this around. I've laminated it for you. I want to introduce to you to my right, my immediate right, Larry is the Vice President of American Green Technology. You all have met with us before in the informal setting, this is the formal setting. And to my immediate left is Joel Green, who came up from Atlanta. He's my manager. And I brought them along so that if there's any questions that perhaps I might have been answered, they can fill in and answer to the best of their ability. We have presented to you the proposal coming from American Green Technology that relates to 443 lights, 463 lights, pardon me. And those lights come to a total of $190,000. I was able to secure a grant for you all pending from the state, which totaled $127,000. You can see that on the white sheet that I gave you. Derek, did you get yours?
Yes, I did.
Here, so that came to $127,000 for rebate. When we minus that out, it comes to a paltry total of $81,469. When you look at that, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be chagrined over in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And I say that because of this. Based upon the annual savings that you'll receive, that money will be recouped and ROI calculated in less than 4 years. So that, with regard to that and the energy savings and the maintenance savings, I don't know what the maintenance savings, but in speaking with Kevin, he said it was whopping. The maintenance that cost to go out and repair lights and get his crew out there to put the lights in. That covers it. It's $81,000. We can have the lights installed. Our crew can install it for $40 a piece. We've secured leasing for you. We didn't need anyone to give us permission. We got that permission to go from the very top. We found some leasing for you. And it's pending a slight credit check. We've done business with you before with regard to a street sweeper, and you all did well with us there, so we're happy to report that we can do it again as well. If there's any questions from you, I'd be happy to answer.
Or any questions?
initial outlay. In other words, for you to do after you financing, after you secure the finance on the lease. What's our, that's all.
If you look at the figure that, I mean, the paper that Ms. Williams just gave you, not that one, the other one.
Okay.
Or that one, okay, yeah, maybe the other one, I'm sorry. You'll see there, the initial outlay is $81,000. That's if it's a cash outlay. However, if we decide to lease, that lease payment can be based upon 3, 4, or 5 years. So we don't have anything in stone as it relates to that. But we've got you, found someone that can lease you. Our in-house leasing can do it.
And our total outlay will be $81,000. That's the total
$81,000.
outlay for everything.
Sir,
That's the total outlay for everything.
for everything, every light, every installation.
If you look at the, I don't know if people have this, the lease payment. The lease payment for 3 years, based on 3 years, is $31,689 a year. The projected energy savings is $65,000, so you would keep $33,000 in your general fund that first year on the energy savings alone. And then you take whatever you're spending on maintenance, and that money would also stay in your general fund. So you would have, and oftentimes the maintenance equals the energy savings. So you could be looking at, somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000 net increase in your general fund, even the first year. And for that, I mean, you talk to the maintenance guy and see what his budget is. In one community in Paw, Michigan, they were able to move, they had 9 people in their streets division, and they moved 6 of those folks to other positions in works and different things because they just didn't have that maintenance to be able to run systems. It was substantial.
I just want to clarify something. You said that you found or got us leasing for the sweeper, correct?
Yes, sir.
The same guy is doing the same firm.
No, I'm sorry, not you, but the same firm that's doing the
Exactly.
lease will be doing the lease. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm not, right, I understand, but I mean the same people that we're talking about. We already have a contract with.
Exactly.
Another comment that I think is that the American Green Technology is standing behind these products, so you have full replacement that first 5 years. And so you'll have the entire investment back while it's still under the complete 100% warranty. Second 5 years, if there's a failure, it's a $40 charge, but then that will carry on. So the worst case scenario is the price of the light plus $40. So you're very well protected in your the savings and.
We'll go back. I'm just a sticker. You said it would be the price of the light plus $40? If we have after the second year?
We have a full 5-year, full 10-year warranty, and it's 5-year full replacement. Second 5 years, they instead of having a diminishing prorated return, it's a straight $40 charge for the return.
Okay, just a $40 charge for repair, not the cost of the light.
Correct.
Okay, that's what's up. Make sure.
So it's, we did that, so it's crystal clear, it's the strongest warranty in the industry, and you know exactly what you're getting into at the start of that.
Okay. I want to have Joel speak about the light itself, so I'll possibly just bear with me.
This is a technology, you have some of these lights up in your city already. And it's a technology that was developed in 1892 by Nikola Tesla. So it's a technology that's improved in the last 121 years it's been around. The U.S. Department of Energy placed 36 of these lights up in the test facility. They turn them on, and they'll let them on, and so your
is essential. And this is just not us saying it, this is third party. Google it up. Magnetic induction, 100,000 lights. No one has it.
Anybody else have any questions?
Rosie, what was the first figure?
First figure was what? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
$190,114.60.
And then you said they got secured for
There's a grant that they found for $127,000.
So if you subtract that out to 190, doesn't leave 81.
Let's say what Mr. Muhammad said just now. There's also 18,000 for the installation. Oh, that's so the price for like
No, I said including lights and when Mr. Williams asked me, lights including installations, 190,000. Plus 200, plus the 18 takes it to 208,000 with the deduction of the rebate, brings it to 81,000.
That's the first one.
that's how you say it.
Estimated. We've been with you for 14 months. I don't want to be another 14 months, but we would like to do this expeditiously as possible. We can get these lights up so that people can enjoy them and you can enjoy the savings that come with it. Also, Trustee Myers?
Have you secured financing already? Is it secured?
Like I said, we spoke with the leasing company and we've done business with the leasing company before and we're looking forward to doing it with you. We just haven't gotten the, what's your finance director's name? It's more, right? He hasn't given me one piece of document that but we've gone out and found it, and we've done business with this before, so we don't see why there's a problem.
Trustee Mark? You have the mic.
120 days or 200 days or what do you predict?
It doesn't take much more than an hour to switch on the mic. Depends on how many people are working on the project, I would say. If there are 10 weeks or 40 hours a week for you guys on the ground. It goes very fast. It's just taking one night out and another night.
So, give a reason now, within 60 days, you have all lights up.
I would say this, the sooner we get them up, the sooner we can get the rebates secured from the, dished out, doled out from the state.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
And then I just want to add, we also found a grant, and I'll say this publicly, we found a grant for the Neighborhood Watch program that the total wraparound will run to $3,000. And that, the only thing is, and then we found a grant for this project too as well, and where we can cover the cost of the uniforms of the basketball team. But those, but those have to be done September 1st. Thank you for, appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Yes, that's what I was discussing. Okay, we'll go on to item number 3 on the agenda, GMP lighting. Mr. Marsalis?
Evening, folks.
I'm not kidding.
You get frequent flyer routes for as often as I can see. So where does all of this leave me? When I was down here, I think it was February, March of last year, I got unanimous board approval to move ahead with the project, subject to me being able to secure financing. And then, of course, we all learned the fact that the village's bond rating had been suspended and weren't financeable. Short of going to Tony Soprano, we've not been able to find anybody willing to finance the village. A couple of months ago, we finally found an investor group that was willing to take a look at this, and then unfortunately Mohan, in a discussion with them, indicated to them that they couldn't swing a payment. And the finance company kind of threw up their arms and said, okay, well, maybe this isn't somebody that, or a village that we ought to entertain risking our money with. So at the last meeting that I attended here, I brought down a letter for the mayor to sign that essentially would, that I could bring to the financiers, indicating that the village was serious about moving forward with this, because up until that time, they had already invested a good deal of time only to have the whole thing go up in smoke. So I'm kind of at a loss here as to how you folks would like us to proceed, if at all.
Now, did you say that the finance company is basically throwing up their arms so they give an up, or they say yes, no, maybe
So
so?
they threw up their arms when Mohan told them that we're not interested because we can't swing any sort of payment. And unfortunately,
Anything right now or in the future, what was it?
I'm sorry, I wasn't privy to that call, but as far as I understand, the takeaway that the financier had was that, well, this isn't someone that, it's kind of like when you're trying to secure a mortgage for the first time you ever buy a home. You do your best to put yourself in a good light in the eyes of the financier. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. And so, again, when the financier looks at a bond rating that's suspended, and then gets that type of feedback from the finance director, would you lend me money? And unfortunately, these financiers aren't as intimate as we've all become with regards to the way that these types of projects more or less become self-funding as a result of the energy maintenance savings, the DCEO incentive rebate monies. They don't want to hear about all of that. And it's up to people like you and I to try to find ways to make these situations work out so that it's a win-win for everybody involved. So with this letter that the mayor and the city clerk are good enough to sign for me, I'm going to provide this to the financier, and they're going to give it one more swing of the bat in the hopes that they can secure this financing. Unless you would like me not to.
Sure. Okay. Last week it was voted on. You need to go out and try to see if you could secure it. Now you spoke that at one time that the board voted unanimously to go with the group.
That's right.
I'm not aware of that. I've never voted.
Actually,
we never made a commitment because we had our public works director go with the vote. And the last time I saw or talked to him, he said, he had a certain preference, but at that time we still never, as a full board, voted to go either way. Last week it was a vote taken to go forward with getting security financing. That's why I asked the question last week. Does that mean, because common sense tells me that if you say that I can go ahead with finance and I'm putting myself out there with them, and if I go get financing, then that doesn't mean I'm going to get the contract. And I asked that question, and it was told to me by the mayor that we just want to give you the okay to go out there and see if you can secure financing. But I don't remember any time, I don't know, maybe Madam Clerk probably clarify, but I don't remember any time this board voting to go with either. We looked at, like you said, you've been doing this for quite a while. Both of you guys have been doing this for quite a while, back and forth. Yes, but at that time, we have not made a decision, a definitive decision, which company we were going with. But last week, yes, it was voted on for you to go out and see if you can get financing. But my question to you is, today you're saying that if you go out and work a miracle or whatever, you want a commitment from this board that we will go forth with you if you go out and do that. Is that what you're basically saying?
Correct.
Just want to make that clear.
I'll
Because
review.
it was last week, it wasn't clear.
Right. I'll review the meeting minutes from last year when we began this exercise. But I just think to remember you in particular asking me, because at that point in time, the calculations were based on a specific APR, right? And I remember you stopped me and asked me to please revisit all of the numbers with you should the APR come in substantially higher and then negatively influence the return on investment window.
Yes.
Okay? So,
That part I understand.
right.
Because if this board voted to go with your group, why would we have a hearing? Why would we even talk to anybody else? If we voted to say, okay, we're going to go with your group, pending financing or whatever, then why would we even entertain anybody else if that's the case?
I'll tell you what, because after we put the mock-up lights in place, okay, to determine whether or not the light levels were adequate and so forth, okay, we immediately went to move to obtain financing immediately, at which point everything became evident, the situation became evident, and essentially the brakes were put on everything. Had the situation been different, and you folks would have had a good credit rating as an example, we would have moved down this path, and this would all be history. This would all be
It
history.
makes sense. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I understand that. But I'm just wondering, I don't think, I'm just one person, but I don't think we voted definitively who we were going to accept whose contract. I don't know what the other board members feel, but I don't remember that, because if that was the case, then why would we entertain it? Why would we even deal with it?
And in all honesty, I asked myself the same question. Okay, because under the administration that I was brought in under, the previous mayor and so forth, I can't answer that either. The program was good, the numbers were good, the benefit to the village was jaw-droppingly good. And so we were kind of taken aback also, especially after we had gone out and invested a tremendous amount of time, money, and energy putting some sample lights in.
I think what happened was, as far as the unanimous vote that you're talking about, I think what happened was that this was the first presentation that we had, and we moved unanimously to move forward with it. During that process, there was another company that it was identified to them that we were in the process of looking for something like that. They had a similar product. And as a board, we said, okay, there's another company out there, let's give them a try. And since then, it's just been meeting after meeting and more information, and no definitive answer has been made. So that's where I think, in the beginning, there was a unanimous vote. We all looked at it, there's a cost savings, there's brighter lights, you gave the whole thing about, cops can see better, and there's better lights, and it'll be if we look at money, the ROI and everything like that. So as a board, we did unanimously, as I remember, we did unanimously say, go for it. And then another company came out. And that's when everything kind of stopped, and the board decided to take both sides, review, and see which company we should go with, and that's what we've been doing for the past year.
Now, what I would suggest to you folks as well, regardless of who you decide to move ahead with, if it's even possible, I've given Kevin reference information for 4 cities that I've completed work at. None of them have been contacted. So, regardless of who you guys ultimately decide, to trust with the village's lighting, as far as I know at this point, you folks have not adequately vetted out who you ought to be doing business with. You haven't vetted out me. I could be some guy selling Chinese crap out of the trunk of his car. Okay? Do you know where these lights are manufactured? Is that important to you? Is it important to you to spend the village's monies on lights that are manufactured in the United States or those that come from overseas in China? My company is approached constantly, because we've got so much market penetration. We're constantly approached by companies asking us to add induction lighting to our lineup. And these gentlemen indicated, truthfully, these lights have been out since the 1800s. Well then, why isn't every city in the world embrace that technology? Why did the city of Los Angeles just recently complete a conversion of 140,000 of their streetlights to LED and not induction? Why? These are the things you guys need to vet out for yourselves, regardless of who you decide to go with. And you might want to put it on the back of your city engineer. Make it his responsibility, because that's typically who I wind up working with. If the city doesn't have their own city engineer on staff, they almost all work with a third-party engineering firm. I know you guys have worked with Baxter Woodman in the past. I work with them on multiple cities. They know me, they know my products. Okay, well, whoever it might be. Whoever it might be. It doesn't matter. An engineer will know how to properly vet something out so that you guys have faith that the decisions that you're making are based on fact.
You said that you provided that copy to Ken?
Copy of?
The copy of the references?
Yes, way back. And I can certainly, I've got twice as many references now in the last year and a half.
Could you send a copy to the village clerk?
Absolutely.
And she maybe can send it to the mayor as well as the village engineer and see if some of those things, some of those questions that you brought up, we can get some answers to.
Great.
Trustee Washington.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, first of all, speaking on behalf of myself, I wasn't here last year, so I'm not privy to whatever you discussed with anybody last year. I did hear you and another company state that this has been ongoing since the last administration. So just speaking on behalf of the residents of Sauk Village, it would behoove us to hear the presentations of any company that want to come and bring lights. As far as you making an indication that we need to vet you and we need to vet the lights and we need to do that, I don't appreciate that because you don't know what we do. All you know is what you see. So until you find out for a fact what we're doing as a board, then you really don't know. So that's why we have different companies to come and present to let us know what you've done, and then we'll make a decision on what we want to do. And all of this is just my opinion. Also, when your proposal, and we can go into the numbers, this $396,924 price for lights. What is that?
Actually, the total project cost is $400,893.
Okay, so is that after the rebate, or is that after whatever grants you're trying to plan, or was that the price that we're going to have to pay?
That's the price that you really will pay, but in this particular model, $150,000, $936,000 of that will be refunded in the way of a DCO incentive rebate.
And I just also want to say in conclusion, without prolonging this presentation, that anytime you're presenting to anybody, you want to put your best foot forward and just show your company what you're doing. It doesn't matter what I feel somebody else's company is presenting. This is what your company has to present. And me personally, I have looked at what you've given, and I have read through the numbers that you've given. So I don't want you to feel that we're just for lack of better words, we're just playing games between companies that are bidding or trying to get the business. We're trying to make, at least I'm trying to make the best decision for the taxpayers and their money, and that's what they put me in this chair to do. So I need to understand clearly what your proposal as well as anybody else's proposal is. And when I make up my mind what I think is best for the residents of this village and their tax dollars, that's what I'm going to vote on. I just wanted to let you know that, and I'm Linda Washington.
It's a good decision to take. My suggestion would be, since there are 3 new council members, is that accurate? Yeah. If it turns out that I can get financing, I would love the opportunity to come back and do a real presentation where we can all go through these numbers together so that you have a clear understanding of exactly what you're committing to and what the benefits are.
Because for the lights, was it $75 a light that I saw that you said? The installation, was it $75 for installation per light?
Right.
Okay, so just make sure I do have the numbers that you gave correctly for me that I'm reading. So I do have this package here, but anytime you want to talk to me, you can give me your card or I can give you mine and we can talk.
I'd love to exchange.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions, concerns?
I do have a question. I do have this sheet here. Can you explain this figure to me?
Absolutely. Your first year benefit consists of the energy monies, the maintenance monies saved in the first year, added to the DCEO incentive monies you're entitled to. All equates to your first year financial benefits. You're welcome.
Anybody else have any questions or concerns? The only thing I would say is I would ask the board, in the absence of Mayor Haynes, if we could, if you guys have any questions, I would encourage you to read over both packets. Because I'm sure we talked about the flyer miles, we talked about being able to have it turning on the microphone. Both of these gentlemen and their companies have come to represent their presentations multiple times to us, and I think it is something that we can make a decision about. So I would just encourage that all trustees, if you can go through the packets, if you have questions, if you have any concerns, that you email the village clerk. And I would like to see that happen relatively quickly because I know when you've got the letter, you can go for funding, and you said that if you can get the funding, you will do the presentation. But I would like to see if we can send out both the companies a list of questions. And based on those answers, the exact same questions. Because I can appreciate with both companies, you guys have been at this for a long time, and I think as Trustee Washington said, as a board, we're trying to make the best decision. And there's something that maybe is not computing between one company or the other, and as a village, we have not been able to make a decision. So if we could just please get those questions to the village clerk, and she can pass them on to Mayor Haynes by this week Friday. I don't think it's too unreasonable a task, and see if we can get those out to the two different companies.
I just have, since you're here, just have a question, quick question. You made a statement at the very beginning that it was, our credit rating isn't that good, so whoever we're going to go to, I'm pretty sure they know. So basically, I guess it seems like you're preparing us for a high APR. That's what it seems like, you're preparing us for a high.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. It seems like you're preparing us for a higher APR. In other words, you're preparing us for a blow that we're going to be charged, not normal rates, but a larger rate because of our situation. At this point right now, what do you see our outlay may be? In other words, how much do you see us having to, with your expertise, what would we have to come up with at the initial time?
Well, initially, before it was brought to our attention what the financial situation was, the default APR calculation used in these workbooks is 3%.
Okay.
All right? If you look, that's right there, you'll notice yours should read 7%.
Okay,
Does it?
yes.
Yes? Great, okay. So I've already built in what is more or less the worst case scenario for municipality. Okay?
So therefore, that would be our initial outlay. Now, I'm sure you've gone to programs, you've already said your DECO and things like that. Yes, we pay for lighting, we have to pay for that. Electric, but what happens is we pay our electric bill. So now we'll have to pay our electric bill plus the lighting, and hopefully we can recoup. But I'm looking at the initial outlay. And if you're saying that it's going to be relatively hard to do that, I don't know. You said Mohan didn't give you some papers and things like that, but if you've already been out there, you've already talked to people and everyone is shaking their head, iffy and this and that, what are you going to present different that you have not already done? And so far what you've done, they told you no. So what would be that would make that difference?
The next time that we meet, I'm either going to come here and share with you that you've been approved, or I'm going to come here and I'm going to tell you I'm pulling my mock-up lights out of your city.
Okay, so
Beyond that, the numbers stand.
no,
I was here. Our goal is, if we can have any influence with the financier on the APR that you're charged, you can get moved to 6 points. Great. Then I'll make the adjustment on the workbook, and it'll reflect in all of the additional numbers, and I'll share that with you.
So what are you how much are you trying to finance? So 100 and
Well, it's going to be the entire project.
300,000?
No, the 400K.
400,000.
The 400K. Now, when you guys get your DCEO incentive rebate check back, it's up to you. What do you decide to do with that? All right? I mean, it would be prudent, to try to throw that at the initial payments.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay, right.
I mean, but what I'm looking at is we signed a contract for a finance of 400,000 at 7% interest.
Right.
Basically, that's what you said the worst case scenario could be.
Right.
And with all of the grants or whatever, that'll knock it down. But in the meantime, we have to make sure that we qualify for those grants. We have to make sure we get the paperwork in, and the government gives us our money. But in the meantime, we still have a note at 7% for $400,000.
True to a certain point. Before I ever start manufacturing your lights, right, you and I both are going to have what's called a pre-authorization letter from DCEO, okay, which sets aside in this particular case, the $151,000 to the Village of Sauk Village for a finite period of time. Okay? I'm not lifting another finger, spending another nickel, okay, unless you and I both have that document.
Okay. And now, but now, would that be contingent upon us signing an agreement with the finance company?
Oh, absolutely.
That's going to come first.
It all happens together at that point in time. All right?
Okay. I just want to
Yeah,
be clear.
it all happens together. If the financiers determine that they can make a way for you, okay, and you're agreeable to that, up to the point where it's predicated on my ability to get you the DCEO pre-authorization letter, then we'll have a deal.
Does the APR need up that DC?
Here's something else we to consider also. I'm glad you encouraged everybody to try to get through these packets by Friday and so forth. DCEO has an additional 10% incentive, that bonus incentive that they're paying out above and beyond the norm. Good through and for projects that can be successfully implemented prior to October 31st of this year. I baked that number into what you have in front of you. It equates to roughly $15,000. $15,000 of free money. Okay? If we continue dilly-dallying along with this thing, and let's say ultimately you do wind up going with anybody for that matter, if you can't get the lights installed prior to Halloween, you lose that extra 10 points. Okay?
Any other questions? Okay, I would encourage both companies to look out for an email from the mayor or the engineer or the village clerk sometime in the beginning part of next week at questions to those people, and then we would be looking forward to your answers.
Great. Folks, nice seeing you again. Thank you for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along, number 4, Neighborhood Watch, Trustee Linda Washington.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that the Neighborhood Watch Program, Sauk Village Neighborhood Watch Program, has been working very, very hard. The committee has been working very, very hard in regard to letting the community know that we are out and we are about in the community, trying to get everyone in the village to participate with this program, to let their neighbors know that the program is available. I just wanted to take a few minutes tonight. I was going to do a presentation, but I don't have all of the tools here that I need tonight, so I'm going to wait to the next on the agenda at the next committee of the whole to have a projector. But I wanted to let all of the residents know that we do have this decal, and it's at the library, it's at the grocery stores, it's at the currency exchange, it's at different businesses in Sauk Village, and all the stores are calling for more, which is an awesome and a great thing, because we want people that live in the village that may, for some unforeseen reason, would try to break in your home or your car or your business, and anyone that's not living in the village that will come into the village to know that we are a neighborhood watch program that's in force. Also, I just wanted to let the community know that we have made a Facebook page available so that you can go on that page and get more information about what's going on in the neighborhood. We've had a lot of residents that have made contact with us to let us know that they want to be a block club president on their block, which is awesome, because when people know that you're watching on your block, crime, we are hoping, and we've seen some changes in some blocks in the last 2 weeks, will begin to go down. So I just wanted to take this time tonight at the Committee of the Whole to express that we are also venturing out to get whatever it takes. I don't know how we have to go about it. We're going to be able to put signs up all over the village, not on every block per se, but every entrance into the village with the same decal and logo to let people come into the village know that we are a neighborhood watch village. And some people want them on their blocks. Now, I know that where the stop signs are, and I've seen other signs around the village too, I don't know because of the ordinance, if there could be a sign that could be put on those signs as well, or if they have a separate sign. I don't know if there's a particular ordinance, we can only have 100 signs or only 4 signs, but I'm asking to get some more information in regard to that. And I just wanted to give a great big thank you to Cynthia. Stand up, Cynthia. Raise your hand. She don't want to say she's shy, but she's our administrative assistant for the Neighborhood Watch Program, and she put that Facebook page up. So we want to encourage all of you to go like the page and tell all your friends about the page, because we're very serious about safety for our residents. We want them to know that the Neighborhood Watch Program, along with the mayor and the board, are available for any concerns or questions that they have. And that concludes my statement. Thank you. Sauk Village Neighborhood Watch is 4 words. Sauk Village Neighborhood Watch. And we have been getting people from other communities that are over their Neighborhood Watch program that have been bonding with us, and it's just a great opportunity. I'm looking forward to talking with Trustee Williams with the Community Outreach Partnership so that we can do some things together as well, because we all want to live in a village where we can feel safe. Lastly, I heard someone say today, I've been living in Sauk Village for the last 25 years, and I have literally been a prisoner in my house. My children, I don't let them go outside because there's so much going on. We want to change those dynamics in that mental state. And I can never, ever thank Debbie Warren enough for designing this for us and making these decals available for the village. You are an awesome resident, Debbie Warren, and thank you so much.
She's doing a fantastic job. I was in Steger today, and a resident of Steger walked up to me and said, you're a trustee in Sauk Village. Yes, I am. Well, I just want to tell you that you have a fantastic neighborhood watch committee. I attended it with one of my friends, and I just thought it was great. I hope Steger continues and get some good pointers from you guys. And the meeting was great. Unfortunately, I had to leave halfway through it. But we're doing good, we get people in, and that's our main goal. You know, we started this thing 3.5 years ago, especially with Linda, and we've been pushing ever since, and now, I say it's off the feet, it's going to run. But, you're doing good, you're doing good.
Anyway, I just want to say when I was not a trustee and I was very interested in starting this neighborhood watch, that trustee Myers at that time was the only trustee that stepped up to the plate to allow me a facility and opened up the fire station to the residents to be able to have the neighborhood watch program there. And I just appreciate you and the Chief Al, for doing that, allowing us to have the neighborhood watch program for the last 2 years at the fire station. So without a place to house the committee, we would literally be on the street. So we're a village and we're all working together. And I'm just looking forward to working with this board to push all of the committees. And I encourage all of the trustees, whatever committee you have, to just work to push your committee. And I'm here for all of you. Thank you.
Anything else?
You can put all your signs underneath all the signs in the words that you can. On your street signs, though, you have a problem, especially the stop line.
All your village signs coming into the town, about Sauk Village, yeah, you can put it there, no problem. But on the street signs itself, stop signs, I wouldn't put them up there, those areas. But in most communities, they have separate posts. It's only take one small post to put these things up, and their entranceway on each block, one end of each area, interrupt the entire town. So we're going to get signs, we should get quite a few where we post them throughout the entire town. But no, you're covered if you want to put a couple of our signs.
Thank you.
Item number 5, National Night Out, which clerk
Your pro tem.
I've been working with the National Night Out Committee along with Deputy Chief Molivas, who's been on vacation for the last couple of weeks, so it's been kind of hard to work with him, but I gave him his thoughts before he left. I talked to the Dyer Police Department, who's had National Night Out events for several years. National Night Out is actually a night on August 6th, Tuesday, August 6th, where several states, communities take the night out and they work with each other, play with each other. They have block clubs in different communities. They have events out throughout the village. This is our first time that we're going to do this, so we're going to do this on a lot smaller scale. And it's going to be whatever we all want it to be. So next Tuesday, I understand Community Outreach Partnership is having a meeting before the board meeting at 6 o'clock. And in giving with all of this camaraderie that we're all doing that's working so well, all the trustees have been doing co-events like the parade that worked out so well, and then we're watching the Community Outreach Partnership. Well, I'm inviting all of you to work with me on the National Night Out night, as well as the police department, fire department, all the other departments in the village and the residents. What do you want that night to be? What we're going to do this year is it's going to be an open night. Mayor makes it like people to bring their girls out. They want or just pick up KFC and come out there and just set up a table, set up a picnic table, a blanket. Like we did fireworks. People just came out. They came out 3 or 4 hours before the fireworks started, set up a little spot, and it was a great day. We had no incidents. Everybody got along. It was a wonderful, great weather. And he wants basically the same thing on National Night Out night. Now what you do the first time you have National Night Out is you build. So we have 365 days from Tuesday, August 6th to make the next National Night Out better than this one. And what Dyer actually does is they have vendors that come to their National Night Out and provide free food for the residents. But they've been doing this over several years. And they also have other vendors that come out at night to sell food to the residents. And again, they get a huge turnout. We can build up to this just like we build up to the parade events. That was a beautiful day-long event where we were together from 11 a.m. to almost 11 p.m. And many people have fond memories of that. So this will be our first venture at National Night Out. I will have flyers before I leave. Hopefully they can be distributed at the movie in the park this weekend. And if everybody can pass the word on, National Night Out is to fight against crime. Okay? The police department will have several informational tables set up. And our new safety pump, pumped out, the human safety pump. I don't know how many people saw that at the parade, but he'll be out. Okay? It's what we make it. This is what I can't impress upon people enough. Tell your neighbors, Tuesday, August 6th. There will be no committee meeting on Tuesday, August 6th. So those of you, I think, trustees that are looking to put things on the next committee agenda, it won't be until the August 20th when we have our next committee meeting. I would have made the meeting for Monday, August 5th, but I'm afraid when we don't have a committee meeting, or when we schedule not to have a meeting, and something emergency comes up, we often have to have special meetings. So I don't want to schedule anything for August 5th because I'm afraid something might come up between now and a special meeting is necessary. So if you don't mind, if we get partnership with the Community Outreach Partnership Committee, Neighborhood Watch, I invite you, Parks and Recreation, I invite you to come to this meeting at 6 o'clock before our board meeting next week. Bring your ideas. What's your committee can do to be a part of it? Residents, I'd like you to come out and tell me what you'd like to do to be a part of it. And if you don't want to be a physical part of like the program, I would like you to attend. I'd like you to call your neighbors. I'd like you to tell them what's going on. It will take place right here behind the Village Hall. We said from 7 to 10, but you can come as early as 5. We'll be here. Okay? You can set up at any time. So if you have any questions, when it comes to public comment, you can ask them then, or you can call me. I will be out of town from Thursday morning until Saturday night, but I have my cell phone with me. I encourage you to give me a call so we can make this a great event, because I want it to be every good event. There's no way we can compete with you guys did a couple of weeks ago. But if those same people that came out, we might be able to get Duck Fan back out. If you guys can do that for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. And whatever other games that you have bags out there that night, if we can get bags and we can get volleyball, we've got the basketball court, just let people know it's a night for people to just come out. If you want to have a grill and have 30 or 40 hot dogs that you can pass out to some kids, or some popsicles or whatever, just to have ready for kids on the spot, it's what we make it. And this is what Mayor Hicks wants to do. He wants to bring the community together. And the more events we have like this, where we can bring the community together, then it makes me feel better about what we're doing. And I'm really excited to see how everybody's getting along, working together, and all these committees are melding. Because it used to be that there was this committee, then there was that committee. But it seems like lately what we've been doing, everything's interrelated, and that's the way it should be. We should be working together as a board, and we should be able to include our residents in what we're doing. I'm excited about it. I see it getting better. So I want to thank you very much, and feel free to call me if you have any questions about National Night Out.
Anybody have any questions, concerns? Okay, moving right along. Item number 6, amendment to establish a South Suburban Land Bank and Development Authority.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Board. We met with South Suburban Mayor and Management, South Suburban Land Bank today. And they had a unanimous vote to include us in as the 5th community involved in the land bank. This brings a special opportunity to us in respect that being part of the land bank, one of the first things we will be placed back on is the CDBG program for senior housing and housing committee. We will also be available funding to tear down homes that are on the curve. Through our study that the Housing Commission has done, out of 433 homes we have in the village, we found 117 that we will never find out who owns them because they are considered derelict and deserted properties within the village. 41 of those homes are in such disrepair that they need to come down. And I am meeting on 1 August with the county on proposition to tearing down this house county success, and we moved it to the group. And it behooves us to go ahead with the land bank meetings. And to be active members of it. This will make the village a member of the board of directors of the South Suburban Marriage Management Land Bank.
So there's an agreement that we need to review and sign?
The resolutions and the agreement has already been presented to the board today, and all they're waiting for is a final next Tuesday, a final resolution to pass it by this village, and then we become active members Tuesday night.
Okay, so that would be basically item number 6, 7, and 8. So is there anything individual that you talk about 7 and 8, or is this just you'd like us to review the information in our packet, and then I asked this in place on the agenda for next week. Does anybody have any problem with putting on the consent agenda? Because all 3 of these things are kind of coinciding. So if you don't vote on one, if one of them doesn't pass, we won't get the land bank. And it seems like this is going to be something that's really good for Sauk Village, and Gary's taking the time with this committee to go out and get this information, and I think that it's something that's definitely worth
Before you, one thing that may interest the village residents, in October, there's a $47 million package coming forward in grant monies, and as part of the land bank, we will share in that money for acquisitions we have and disposition of properties within the village. So, October 1st is the actual grant.
I just have one question, Gary. In order for us to be part of this, is there any outlay? In other words, do we have dues, or is there anything we have to put aside for acquiring homes and things like that?
Absolutely nothing. There's no cost to the village at all. And one of the biggest advantages to being on the land bank is you're in the process of acquiring 41 properties, of which 90% are vacant. They will do the marketing free, and they do have, as the group today, we found out that they do have lawyers that do the work absolutely for the transfers and stuff.
Because I did ask a question before, who finds out? In other words, when homes become available, they have to come through the land bank before. In other words, if a person has privy information that a house is about to become available, can they circumvent the land bank, or can they have to go? They have to actually, if they want to purchase a house, they have to go to the land bank.
No, they can come directly to the village if it's a village property. If it's a village acquisition, they can approach the village. They have to submit an offer, a bid, and then it's up to the board and the mayor to decide whether they move it forward or.
So they will submit a bid to the village, not
To the
land.
village. It would not go to the land bank unless it was a land bank controlled property. We retain all rights to any village property, and all the marketing for the village will be done through the land bank. And we'll have free access to their brokers and their lawyers to do the process.
Now, will everyone be, in other words, if this happens, like I said, it's going to be a bid process, so therefore I'm sure it's going to go out in papers or whatever that certain property is up for bid.
Correct.
Okay, and everyone would probably have to find out where we can get that information, so it can be, each resident that wants to can have a chance to look at that. In other words, what I'm saying is I don't want to see property that's going to be up for sale, and then you turn around, it's gone, and you never got a chance to get to the people.
No, the policy and procedure they have now is that they would put it in the Chamber of Commerce newsletter. We would put it in the local newspapers, and it would be a set date, and it would be open at a certain time. At that time, those bids come into the village, at which time the trustees would review
Okay.
the packets, and whoever was the highest bidder would be the winner.
Okay.
But it's a very stringent process that they don't want to exclude anybody. They'll do all the local newspapers.
Right.
And Comcast has set up that they will put it in their, I don't know if you've ever seen it. They have the real estates available. They will put out at no cost to the village or the land bank the information, so it's disseminated thoroughly. It will also be put on the Sauk Mayor's Management land, website. It will be put on the village website, and it will be put in Sauk.
Okay. I just want to make sure that that it gets that far.
Yeah, we're not going there again. We
You
had that
understand
problem 20 years ago.
That's what I'm talking about. I just want to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay.
Your board, you have to make the decision. I'll bring it to to you on which direction we intend to go. It's up to you. I have to give you 3 or 4 scenarios, and then you decide whether the land goes to the land bank or we market it for the village itself.
Great, thank you.
I just want to ask you a question, Gary. Did you say we have 117 homes that will never be identified?
They'll never be identified because they're considered deserted homes by the state, as far as the banks have relinquished all rights to them, mortgage companies relinquished all rights to them, and they're in deficit of tax. They're tax deficit because the county has no way of knowing who to send the tax bill to.
But you know where these 117 homes are?
Yes,
You have
we do.
Okay. And then what did you say about 41 other homes?
41 of those homes are in such disrepair that they actually need to be destroyed. And we're approaching the county on August 1st with Cook County Land Bank, and they have the funds. What you have to understand, Sauk Mayor's Management has limited funds, and at the present time they have no funds for destruction. County has $1.2 billion in their land bank, and of which unlimited amount is for. One of the things people need to understand is if they tear down a property at the request of the village, they come out and condemn it. We know. The county will condemn it, they'll tear it down. And if they track down the owner, whatever it costs to tear that down, they get the bill. Not us. We'll never see a penny spent on that.
Gary, of these 41 at the major disrepair, and we are never going to be able to actually get it certified. Your board would petition the county to get a demo, and I'm right.
Once we present letters of condemnation on the properties to the village board, and the village board approves the list, then I will take that to the county board, meet with the county board, and at that time, that would be John and I that would end up having to go before the county board and petition them to tear down the property. Once we petition them, the next standard tear down is within 30 days. And they take the property all the way back to what it was when nature had it. All foundations are removed, all signs of habitation are removed, driveways, sidewalks, whatever.
That's it, a total demo. Okay, the CDBG program, now, is that going to be ran strictly by county, or is your committee going to run it foresight?
It's going to be run by the village.
Okay.
The committee is just acting on behalf of the village board. The mayor asked me to participate in the program to try to get us back on track. The only stipulation they have right now that is in effect, it will only be available, before it was available to any resident. Housing, because of the housing crisis and everything, it will be, the funds will be for 65-year-old residents or older for home repair grants, and the rest of the money will be if we need to hire glass cutters or whatever.
And then you prepare that as present to the board rule.
Well, they will actually come
Who will make the inspection of the repairs, bring them up to code? That would be our people again, or the county?
County.
County will come out to approve it.
The county will come and present it to the board, the final package, if the board accepts what they send back here. It's about a 90-day process.
Maybe I missed it. Who will be in charge of doing the inspection of the repairs to make sure they're up to code? The county or our code guys?
Our code enforcement.
Okay. And then they will make their report to county, and then county will.
Correct.
And then a payout will be authorized.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So basically the same way county ran it all last time.
Well, you were familiar with the CDBG fund before. They still have what they had back then, that the code enforcement officer would be there to fund the code enforcement officer that does the inspection.
And this county will verify, yeah.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Once the property is wiped clean and we just got a nice grassy area, how does a individual purchase the property?
Okay, what we do to increase the incentive for people to maintain the property and stuff, and in the future I'll be explaining it more to the board. But we've already done it with one property that was stagnant, that turned out we've owned it for 40 years, but we've paid taxes on it since 2006 because they neglected to take it off the books. What we basically did was the people on both sides of the property both wanted the property, so we split it down the middle. And we sold the vacant property because we've been maintaining it's very expensive to maintain for $1 per parcel. Went to county with them, and the county readjusted, we pinned them to the new measurements and increased their, and that is one of the ways we can do it. As Ed would be more familiar with, the CDBG programs, if they're in the middle of a block and the area is conducive to turning it into a small park, there is funding that will maintain that. But the way the county is handling it right now is it behooves them to get a neighbor to buy the lot. It increases the tax revenue for the village, the county, and the property is maintained.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any other questions?
You wanted to put items 6, 7, and 8 on the consent agenda for next week. Can you explain or elaborate a little bit on number 8?
Eric?
A director has to be a town official, in which place all the board members on it right now are the mayors. They would be placed on it as the village's direct representative, but because of the day-to-day operation of the village, I would be the assistant, and I would sit in on the board, and that's why everything in the packet, we designed it so everything has to come back to the village for village ratification. No decisions will be made by myself or made independently without bringing it to the whole board.
Does that have to be labeled that way on the agenda?
No,
No, it can state just like.
just the way it is.
Okay. Does anybody have a problem with putting that on the consent agenda?
And just to reiterate what you said, if you don't put them all together, if you don't pass one, you don't pass any. And this is a very good opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much. Item number 9, public comment. Just remind everybody that all questions and comments have to be directed to myself. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on the topics of their choice. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. That being said, understand that I am not the mayor. And once the questions do come here, I will allow any trustee who would like to step in and take a shot at answering the questions. We will do so as a board. But I encourage you, if you do not give the answers that you have, if you do not like the answers we have, or you're not understanding that, I would encourage you to submit your questions in writing, and we will make sure that the mayor does get them. Okay.
Thank you, Rose Langston. Number 4, I think it's an excellent idea with the signs. However, signs do cost, and I think it's nice to have every block, but to start off, it'd probably be nice just to have a few entry until the village has enough money to pay for the rest of the signs. Number 5, I hope that when we get the flyers out, it would carry a correct date, because the flyers that I have shows 2012.
I made that correction there.
Oh, it is corrected? Okay, thank you.
Remember your flyers on before Friday.
All right. Item number 6, talking about the land bank. I know he talked about homes being worked on and the policy set. Of course, I don't know how many the residents know that if these homes are available, is this for owner occupancy, or could an investor get involved with it? We actually don't, I would hate to see renters coming in on these homes that are being rehabbed.
Is that all of your questions?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Myers?
I know the problem last time had the owner occupied. I believe it still is this time too.
Yes, it is. They have to have lived in the house for a period of 5 years.
They live in 5 years. Okay, thank you.
Trustee Washington?
In regard to item number 4, the Neighborhood Watch Program, we do have some private as well as some public people that have expressed an interest in making a donation. Therefore, before we begin to make an expensive cost of any type, we're looking for people that want to make a donation to help to get those signs. I was also told that we already have availability for possibly some poles, and if we can't, like Trustee Mike, they could go up with some other poles around the village, just depending on us doing the drive for the sea. But this is just a stage 1 out of the gate, just an initial thought to let the village board as well as the residents know the direction that the neighborhood watch is going in. But we do plan on having fundraisers. Thank you.
Trustee Washington, just on top of that, I would suggest that maybe you talk with Kevin Welling. He does order all of our signs. He would be able to get you a price estimate, so you can kind of put that out there to support your fundraising. If you guys are going to start small, 10 signs, they're going to be this much, and then that way people know how much to give. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Ms. Hopkins?
Hello, Bernadine Hopkins. This is sort of off the subject, but there were ordinances on the books regarding the sagging pants and I believe walking in the street. I need to know, have those been passed, or are they pending, or are you working on them? You know, that kind of thing. So that's question 1. Question 2. Are there implements in place to prevent inaccurately acquiring someone's home? Do you understand what I'm saying? I understand that the village is doing acquisitions, but are there implements in place to ensure that you're acquiring a home that is actually abandoning? You haven't mistaken Ms. Hopkins with Ms. Hoskins or something? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so, and the third one is, am I clear in understanding that the CDBG, yeah, that grant is only available for individuals 65 and older, or did I mishear that, or what is the criteria for that? So that's kind of a double question.
Okay. Trustee Myers, do you want to speak on the ordinance?
I believe they're going to start out probably 65 and older, am I correct, Jerry? And that's, last time there was years ago, they opened it up pretty much so as long as you're owner occupied, you had owned the house for minimum of about 5 years. This year, not this time, this round, it's going to be 65 or older that started. Now that's not saying it's going to stay there, but it's going to, they're going to start us out. You have to be 65 older on their own for a minimum of 5 years. Correct? And what was your first question?
The sagging pants and the walking in the street ordinances. The sagging pants and the walking in the street ordinances.
The ordinance still stands. The ordinance on the book is never going to fill the ordinance out there. If our officers write it, I know Linwood has wrote many citations on it. Chicago Heights has wrote. There's several other communities, several communities contact us about a draft our ordinance, but they're running into not only is the young adults dropping their pants running around the waist, and everybody can see their underwear, but it's also a new way to gain or to fly their own cars. It sounds silly, but, you know, you can't fly your car at an opening, but you can't say what kind of underwear you're gonna have, so you wear your pants around your knees, you still can fly your cars. But, and all that is during gang recruitment, and they know what gang you belong to like that. The flying pants ordinance has been challenged several times in court, and so far it will stand. There was a court case out east. It got several appeals with that, but Linwood I've talked to their police chief and the mayor, and he loves it. So far at this date, I don't believe there's one citation in the road in this town on it yet, but the ordinance is on the book.
Gary, could you possibly speak to Ms. Hopkins' second question about the acquisition of homes?
The acquisition of homes, it's a multi-pass thing. Any homes that we acquire are either tax delinquent, and the county has already done the paperwork on them, or they're federally owned homes like HUD, and HUD relinquishes them to the village for redistribution or whatever. But acquisition of any home that the village would move on has already been processed through the county, and the packet for each one of them is about a half-inch thick with all the information, the history of the property, and everything.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Do you have any other questions?
My name is Vanessa Coburn. I'm kind of off the subject. I was wondering, where does Sauk Village stand on assault weapons? Are we planning on banning it like Homewood, Highland Park, or North Chicago? Where do we stand on that?
That would be one of those questions that if you could write down and submit to the mayor, that would be something I would assume you would have to talk with Chief Stockrigan and Deputy Chief Olivas about that.
Because, you know, already kind of issues, you know, in the community with guns. More than likely, gangs will be walking around carrying guns, will make the community even more dangerous. So I think this is a really serious subject that needs to be, you know, because from what I understand, we have a limited time in order to let the government or the state know that we're banning it. And it's close, it's very close.
Dolores Brady. I would like to just make a pleasant comment. At our 4th of July festivities, I was having difficulty walking through the retention area, and a nice young man that was playing football in his socks came and helped me carry my chair over so I can go watch the fireworks and also help my husband. My question is, I wonder if that young man's mother was able to get his socks clean again. But he was so nice, so polite, and it was a good thing to experience. And he volunteered to help us. Thank you. Thank you.
Here. On the lighting situation, the frustration that I heard of the second gentleman, and I have to tell you that I honestly, I understand, and I feel sorry for that man, because that man has been led to believe that we were on the track with him. And I need to know, we're having trouble making payroll from payday to payday. Why haven't we had the honesty to tell the first group that came in, as well as the second gentleman? We're not really leading them astray. We'd love to have the lights. But we can't pay for them. It doesn't matter if they get a proposal or not. It doesn't matter if they get a discount or not. Whatever the price is, it's going to be too much. We don't have the money. We can't hire people we need. We can't
payroll for people that we need, so we can't hire them. But we're gonna talk about spending a large sum of money for lights, which we also need. But how do we pay for it? It's great to have him there, and I understood his frustration, and I think he was right to be frustrated, because the man's been doing this for over a year now, playing a game with this board, whether it be the new ones, the old ones, or all of them combined. He's never been given a truly honest answer. He gave proposal after proposal, and we still didn't have the decency to say it looks great, it sounds great, and we love what you're bringing to us, but at this point in time, we can't pay it. Second question. There is a house on Paxton Avenue that some years ago was condemned. Now, I know that code enforcement has inspections and whatever, but that house is now being rented out. And from what the neighbors are telling me, the house was never inspected. The house is the same as it was when it was condemned. And it was condemned due to the foundation and the, I don't know, whatever's wrong with the foundation. And I'd like to know how do we get around, how do people get into these things without going through our protocol?
If after we continue with that address, I'll address that, sure. Okay. Any other comments or questions?
Ma'am, your question about how do you pay for it, it's a valid question. It's one that cities, states, municipalities are asking all the time. And one of the key advantages of energy efficient lighting is, and I'll use just very broad terms, if you have a utility bill that's $100,000 a year, so you're taking $100,000 out of the village of Sauk's coffers and paying it to the local utility. If you can reduce the energy consumption by 50%, thus lowering the electric bill from $100,000 to $50,000, your $50,000 should be good. Now, in this particular case, you have to buy lights. But the lights may cost, in this, just to keep the number simple, let's say the lights cost $100,000. Your payback is 2 years. For lights at 12 hours a day, should last for 22.8 years. So the way that it's been structured through the leasing finance company, who's done business with Sauk before, is that the payments are going to be subsidized out of the energy savings and also out of the maintenance savings. The maintenance is not from the labor, it's from the replacement components. So instead of having to buy bulbs and ballasts, our lights will last, they don't have to be changed out. And the money that you'll be spending will actually be, the village of Sauk will be cash flow positive from making this change. It's a valid question.
I just have to make one comment, and I hate to see people made to feel bad for taking the time and figuring something out. I've been involved in a lot of these things, and it's not unusual to take 18 to 36 months to work through the city processes. So we may feel bad that you've taken whatever time that I just saw that.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. I ask that we move to item number 10, miscellaneous comments from the Board of Trustees. Trustee Burgess.
Thank you. Intergovernmental affairs, I come out with this way, on my committee, intergovernmental affairs, which we meet third here at 7 o'clock. All invited. We're starting some new things. We had a meeting last week. and this meeting here will be more productive. We're coming with, probably be coming out pretty soon with all things that we're trying to encompass with this particular committee. So you will get a outline hopefully by the end of the month at the board meeting, and I'll let you know what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish, and include, as was stated before, include the whole village. We're not trying to step on any toes, anything like that. We're trying to bring resources to the community. So if anyone's interested, you come down this Thursday. We're going to be meeting every week for a month so we get everything together. So it'll be this Thursday at 7 o'clock here at Village Hall. Thank you.
Human Relations Committee and the Park and Recreation Committee are putting on the movie in the park. The movie will be Oz the Great in Sauk. It starts at 6:30 Friday, right out here in the park behind the building. Parks and Recs will have basketball registrations this Friday and Saturday. Friday will be from 4 to 7. Saturday will be noon to 2 over at the community center. The Parks and Recs next meeting will be Thursday at 7 o'clock at the community center. And the July Celebration Committee will meet July 26th, that's next Friday, at 7 p.m., and that will be here at the Village Hall.
Trustee Ward?
Nothing.
Trustee White?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just wanted to have three little comments. Number one, I want to encourage every home to display our decal. To me, it's in a clear message to criminals and to just people to let them know that the village is on one accord, that the village is on one page together in regard to how we feel about crime. These decals are available at different places throughout the village. Like I said, they're at the library. We've taken 4 different stacks to the library. One very nice incident today when I was at the library. It was 2 left on the counter. I put about these many out wherever I go. So this was like my 4th stack today. And one lady took one and one lady said, I got the last one. So I said, you want the fact I have more in my car? So we're driving around. The committee came up with this one that we had so many to choose from, but this is the official logo that we came up with for the neighborhood watch. So as we're driving through the committee, we're going to be looking to see if homes have these displayed either in their front windows, or one woman took 4. She said, one they broke in my garage, they came back and broke in my house. So we only have so many left. We only have so many left. We started off with 2,500, and we have about maybe 400 left. So we want all of the homes in the village, as well as I went to the business owners, to display this in their windows. And we also not only want to encourage everyone to go to our new Sauk Village Neighborhood Watch Facebook page and like us, but we also have a Sauk Village Neighborhood Watch email address. So you can email us directly at saukvillageneighborhoodwatch@yahoo.com. Gmail. If you have any questions, you can see our very efficient administrative assistant, Cynthia. And finally, I just want to say, we want to remind all the neighbors on your block to turn on their front and back lights. There are way too many blocks that still have no lights on in the front or the back of their homes, and it's really not that much more in your light bill. If anything, to just turn on those little porch lights, but it makes a great big difference, and it also sends a message. And I wanted to ask Trustee Burgess, with your committee, you're inclusive to all of the entities in the village. I know I saw you at the school board meeting. I heard you make an announcement there. So you will be going to the library.
Right now, we're going to try to take care of what we have to do here in Sauk Village. And once we take care of that, we get that together and get that informational booklet or whatever we're going to do, then we're going to go to the different tax boxes. 206 is one we need to build as a village get involved in 206. Most of the tax dollars go to 206. But we should talk to 206 to find out, and then 168.
So your meetings that you have here, are those entities invited? They're not invited to come yet, just the residents of Sauk Village.
Right. We're not going to involve anyone else until we have ours together.
Redevelopment Committee, and I've been talking to people about it as well as pushing it, and they just wanted to know if it's the Open Meetings Act when they come, or. And then I did have 3 people that asked me about the Economic Development Committee. I know that the mayor did take that over. Do you know if he's going to be announcing soon that he's going to have those meetings?
That's all, the economic development is all, I don't think he has, the committee, he has different people, you have your, different people, you have, finance people, all these, this is not a committee per se. I haven't seen one that I've had, now that I've economic development, basically people that are made up of all professionals, I haven't seen regulars on that.
Okay, so would there be, well, I know you don't know the answer.
I would email the mayor. Maybe put that little bug in his ear. And
Because the
say,
people that asked me, they used to come, of course, when Trustee Burgess had economic development meetings here, if they could come. I do know some businesses that are interested in coming, so I'll just put them in contact with you. Thank you.
Trustee Myers.
Just a couple of things. I want to have a ordinance review committee meeting. This is a Thursday, due to the fact that will be on vacation Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And I'll be out of town hoping to catch a fish. But then I have a request from Mr. Bolton. Could you check, see if that's one of those houses that we found that people was moving into that we didn't know anything about? And let them get back to us on that. I want to pass them. You can check it out.
Yeah.
All right. And then the last thing is, Linda mentioned turn the lights on your house. Well, a lot of people worry about energy and stuff. However, a year and a half or so ago, I went with the energy efficient light bulbs throughout my whole entire house. People, they do drop it. I saved over 20% on my light bill. So they do have those also for the outside light bulb. You put those in and you still can light the neighborhood up. So by getting one of those at the hardware store, they now they cost about the same as the regular light bulb. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, clarification, the movie in the park, it starts at 6:30. I don't think the actual movie, according to Ms. Stewart, doesn't start until about 8:30. There's just going to be like reading, should they have some popcorn and stuff for sale there. So.
Of course, I do want to know that maybe it's out.
She was going to talk with Kevin about getting sprayed back there, but I don't know what she has done with that. So she just asked me to make that announcement tonight, right before the meeting. So I can't really say for sure.
Might be a good idea to suggest, anybody who's going to be partaking in the movie in the park, to don't forget your chair, mosquito repellent. They will be selling snacks for the movie, is what I'm understanding. So make sure that, you got your chair, you got your mosquito repellent, you got some money, so you can help support the Human Relations Commission. I'm just, she's not here to do it, I'll throw it out there for her, let's get some money. I have a couple of announcements. First of all, Trustee Washington, I apologize for halting you speaking. I was trying to look it up on Facebook to see what time, but her flyer doesn't have time that I can see on Facebook anyway. So thank you very much for putting the 6:30, because I was asked to present that as well. I did also want to comment on if you would like to get more information about your property tax appeals. There was a meeting tonight at Sandridge School. They robocalled everybody last night. So a lot of people may not have received that robocall. So if anybody is interested in looking at tax appeals for your home, I do have a website address. The Cook County Board of Review will be looking at it. And if you are ready, the website is www.boardofreview.com. Cook County. Okay, I'll look at it again. www.cookcountyboardofreview.com. And again, that's for to look about information about appealing your property taxes. Okay? And again, just a reminder to the trustees, if you could please formulate some questions and any concerns, get them to the village clerk so she can get them to the proper people so we can try to get this situation handled efficiently. Trustee Morgan?
Something just popped in my head.
Aneurysm.
Just throw me.
On a brain.
All right. Marcus Evans, our state representative, I've been in communication with him tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the Lansing Public Library. If you guys want to go to either my personal Facebook page or my one for public office, and there is all the information is there. I don't have a flyer in front of me, but I know it starts at 6 p.m. Now, Mr. Evans has all the property from Torrance going east. So if you're from Torrance east, we'd love to see it. If not, we'd still love to see it anyways. LG Sims has from Torrance going west. So if anybody wants to go to it, please feel free to hit my Facebook page and get all the information. He has made a statement. He wants to come here to Sauk Village and do the same thing. He's going to each community and reaching out to the community and telling what he's doing for us down in Springfield. So I really like Marcus. He's a good-hearted young man, and I think we should all get behind him and help him out any way we can. Thank you.